Hello and welcome. I'm so excited that you're here this morning for this splits intensive mini practice. This is meant to be a brief practice that you can utilize to work your splits. This is a request I often get from folks saying that this is a particular form that they're pretty excited to work toward. And so I'm putting this together to show you a few things, but also to give you a few reminders so that when you're in any other yoga class, when you are out moving in your life in general, you have some things in mind that can help make all of those movements something that are a little bit more intentionally focused on the splits if that is something that feels interesting to you and supportive in your body. So for this mini practice, go ahead and have two blocks or things in general that can bring you up off the floor. That might be folded up towels, blankets, cushions, books. Additionally, if you have a pair of socks, that would be lovely. I'm going to show you a couple of things involving the wall, and I'll explain how they also translate to being on the floor at different times. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start. We are going to begin in a kneeling form here. Toes can be tucked under. And while you're here, give yourself a moment to just press into your toes. Maybe you lean forward and back, just activating through the front sides of those hips, using that posterior chain to support us all the while. Next time you're upright, go ahead, extend your arms up. Exhale, we're going to hinge it forward. Finding tabletop, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat, but lift your knees all the way back, downward facing. A couple sun cells just to wake us up. Let's inhale, right leg high. Exhale, really round that knee in. Focus on that hip flexor activation. Step that foot forward. Inhale as you lift up. We're thinking of compression, contraction on the front hip, extension on the back, similar to our split. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, hinge it forward, full. Inhale, lift your back leg, standing split, really active here. One thing you can notice is that as you try to reach your torso toward this front leg, your back leg might want to externally rotate. We are trying to keep enough internal rotations that the hips are square. And so that might change, right? If I let my hips stack, I can really lift this leg high. If I bring it back into square, it changes that range of motion, but it keeps it where it needs to be for our split. We're going to pulse here, touching those toes down toward the mat and then pulsing up. 3, 2, and 1. Up at the top, pulse for 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and step your left foot to meet your right. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift along the spine. Exhale, fold it forward. Step your right toes back. Inhale, high lunge, second side. Contraction in the front hip, expansion in the back. Reach out of that back heel. Keep hips square and level, again, preventing that opening to the side. And on your exhale, plant your hands, step it back, downward facing, ripple your way forward, plank. Exhale, lower half or all the way. Inhale, gentle heart opener. Exhale, release. Press your way up and back, downward facing. Inhale, left leg lifts high. Exhale, knee rounds and really tight as you step forward. Inhale, find your way up, high lunge. Exhale, standing split, second side. Again, notice what happens if we open the hip versus if we keep it closed down. We're going to pulse it down for 3, 2, 1. And then at the top, pulse for 3, 2, 1. Step right foot to meet left. Inhale, stand all the way up. Catch opposite elbows. Exhale, lean over to the right, hips go left. Inhale through center, exhale left, hips go right. Inhale through center and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift along spine. Exhale, let it go. Left toes step back. Inhale, high lunge. And exhale, forward fold. Step it back, pause here. From here, we're gonna let the hips drop toward an upward facing, but really keep some activation in your low belly, in your abdomen, so that you feel some buoyancy through those hips. You can liberate one set of toes, land them down, liberate the second set, land them down, liberate the first set, right toes point. And this time we go all the way up and back, three-legged down dog. Exhale, round that knee in, step it forward. From here, grab your blocks. We're gonna frame out this front foot, lower back knee breath and look up. On your exhale, hinge your hips back so they are over this back knee. And this is where you might want blocks because as your hands come to rest, we still want those hips square, not opening to the left. And from here, think of dragging the mat back with your right heel. There can be a micro bend in this knee to keep some muscle energy as you reach your heart forward. This might be a really good place to stay. I really encourage moving, pulsing in and out, staying active here, titrating toward and away from sensation, not trying to brute force anything. You might notice that if you time the forward fold to the exhale, then it feels like there's a little more space there. Inhaling to bend, exhaling to straighten. Inhale to bend, exhale, straighten. And now is where you might really want blocks. You might even bring them back, tallest setting. We're gonna press into back knee, back toes, both blocks, and lift this front leg and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Go ahead and bend into that leg. Step your blocks out of the way. And inhale, standing split. Second time on this side. Pulsing for 3, 2, 1. And step it forward. Let's inhale this time for Utkatasana chair form. Pause here. And exhale straight into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift long spine. Exhale, hands down. We're gonna step the right foot back. From here, lower that knee, bring your blocks with you, second side. So hips over knee, find flexion in this front foot. And then again, pulsing in and out, feeling free to use blocks as a support here. Exhale, inhale forward, exhale back. Find your pulsation. Front leg is very active when it's straight. The next time that it's straight, go ahead and pause there for just a breath. And then from here, we'll crawl those blocks back. You know what's coming. It's a funky move. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Last one. Lift and lower. Set your blocks out of the way. Plant your hands, step it back. Plank pose. Move through vinyasa. Skip a vinyasa. Whatever feels best in your body this morning or afternoon or evening, whenever you're taking this class. And then from here, we're going to inhale right leg up. Exhale, knee rounds in and pause. Inhale, kick it up. Exhale, round and pause. Inhale, kick it up. This time as you exhale, step it forward. And from here, find that standing split one more time and step your left foot down. Let's inhale, chair form. Exhale, forward fold. This time, right leg lifts up, standing split. We have to do those 3 kicks we did on the other side. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Lower, lift. Step those right toes back. Inhale, high lunge, pause. Exhale, forward fold. Step your left toes back. This time, from this plank form, we're going to rock our hands all the way to our feet at the back edge of the mat. Take a moment in this forward fold here to bend your knees. Let your torso come toward your legs. Maybe let your head hang heavy. And then inhale, unwind all the way up. And this is where you might grab your socks. So I'm going to start by just putting a sock on my right foot. We're going to use the wall here as a bit of an aid. And the way that we'll do it is in standing split. So the foot with the sock is going to be the one that goes up the wall. And you might start maybe an arm's distance away from your wall. And as you tilt down into your standing split, your right toes come up and they really press into the wall. And from here, with those toes on the wall, your left toes pointing forward, you have a really nice square pelvis. And you can bend and straighten in and out of this. You can always move your left toes closer, slide your right foot higher, whatever feels supported in your body. Again, we're pulsing here. We're not brute forcing. And keep on flexing that back right glute when you pulse out of it. So as you press into your right toes, your right leg activates, that glute turns on. And we're really keeping strong here, letting our body know that we're only going to go as far as our muscles are supported. And so you might play with that. And when you feel ready to ease out, do so. Maybe take a moment to just notice how that feels in your hips, in your hamstrings. If you're ready to go to the second side, do a little sock swap. And from here, again, toes are on the wall, they're tucked. That's going to keep our hips square as you settle into this wall assisted standing split. And again, as you pulse in and out, really let your left glute engage. Right, stay here for a couple more pulses. Ease out. Take a moment to wiggle that out. Remove your sock. And then orient back to your mat, the traditional direction. We're going to take our final little exploration here before doing a little more stabilizing. And it's going to require us to come back down to our knees. And just like we've been playing with, where we might liberate a leg and use that active hip flexor, we're going to do that to step the right leg forward. Now you can imagine if you were on a slick, smooth surface and you had a sock on, for this next drill, you might play with like pushing and pulling your leg in and out on that smooth surface. I'm going to demo it on the mat, and I'm going to show you this with blocks as a support in a couple ways. So we start with hips over back knee. And then we maybe slide that heel forward and then bend the knee a bit and pull it back. We're pulling from this whole leg and then slide it forward and pull it back. And so again, if you're on a smooth surface, that might have a little more slide. That could feel supportive. It could also feel a little scary sometimes to think of like, what if I slide too far? And so that's why I like to start on a mat. You might eventually find a place where you think, okay, I want to stop here. This is where I feel it in my form. And you can bend and straighten into this front leg. You might have the top of your back foot pressing down, or you might tuck those toes, even lifting that knee. Sometimes that's going to feel more supported in your body. And you're straightening and bending both legs at the same time. Just letting your body titrate toward this form. Blocks can be very helpful here. Again, hips are square and level, not opening up to the left. If I am, it's an indicator I need to bring my stance a bit shorter. Right here is where I might stack blocks. I'm actually going to for this demo. Under my front leg, so I can feel what it's like to be a little more passive here. If you're here and you think, okay, I don't like, I can feel, when I say passive, I want to be clear. You want to still feel your legs drawing toward midline, kind of scissoring back toward the pelvis. We never want to be fully relaxed here because that's where our muscles are actually more likely to turn off, so to speak, where they are likely to reduce the amount of communication happening between our brain, our spinal cord, and the muscles. And that can lead to some injuries, some overstretching. And so, right now, you might think, okay, I don't have to put as much pressure into my hands. I can kind of let gravity help me even while I'm engaging through my legs. And you might find a place that feels like your edge for the day and stay there for just a couple of breaths before easing back out. That same pulling motion. And then taking a moment here to really wiggle that out like you're hula hooping. Maybe draw some figure eights. And you might notice difference between left and right sides. We're going to go to the second side now. So setting up blocks, just as we did last time, using that active hip flexor. It's going to be working. It's going to be contracting. We might as well set it up to do just that. And then finding that half split, Ardha Hanumanasana, half Hanuman. And then maybe sliding that leg out and back. And just getting used to the pull of the leg being what brings it back. And then from here, maybe you say, okay, I'm going to tuck my back toes. This is one of my favorite ways to work a split, is to think of bending and straightening both legs at the same time. Hips are staying square toward the front edge of the mat. We're using our blocks for some support. The activation in the back leg, in the front leg, is going to help our bodies to feel supported and exploring here. The pulsation allows us to move toward and away from sensation. Maybe we eventually say, hey, I want to stack some blocks. I want to give my body a chance to feel this active in the legs, but without having the arms involved, maybe in a static position. Pausing here. Maybe there's a way to edge a little deeper into it if that feels of interest in your body. Welcome to. And then if you want to ease back out of that, active drawing in, set those blocks aside. Bring your knees back and find some circles, this time from more of a tabletop form. And go one way and the other. To conclude, we're just going to activate and stabilize front and back side. So hip flexors and glutes. We'll start with our hip flexors. Left leg stays bent, right fingertips tent. Pointer flex your right toes. We're going to lift and lower this leg just a few times. The next time it's lifted, go ahead and pause, hold here. Feel muscle hugging in. And set that down, shake it out. Second side, lift and lower. The next time it's lifted, pause, hold here. Set it down, shake it out. And then a little bit of love for our glutes. We're going to set up for a glute bridge. Feet plant, knees toward the ceiling. Take a moment to tuck your tail a little bit here. And then as you press into your feet and lift your hips up, squeeze your glutes to really push your hips toward the ceiling. Think of a little bit of hugging of inner sides of legs toward one another. And pause here, hold here. It's nice isometric hold. Reaching those glutes up. Pressing down through all four corners of each foot. Lifting from the glutes. And a slow, slow lower. You might take a moment to windshield wiper your legs side to side. To do anything else that feels stabilizing or supportive here. A couple things to keep in mind as you experiment with splits and you're working in your practice as a whole. It's really about keeping those hips square and level and keeping enough muscle energy in your legs for your legs to feel supported and finding their edge in a splits form. And so if you think about that when you are in a three-legged down dog, when you are in a standing split, when you're in a forward fold even, that is going to be a principle that can allow all those other movements, even in a not split specific practice, to feel like it's helping you to find your splits in general. I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you find this supportive in your practice.